Hello and welcome to our latest episode of What's on the Horizon. I'm Lori Sharonbrack and I'm here with Chris Shooker of Digital Horizons. And today I want to talk about listening systems. Is that like a fancy word for Alexa or Siri, or what is it?
No, so listening assistant systems are something that we install primarily on the commercial side of our business. Which in this case would be churches or house of worship, conference rooms, boardrooms, public spaces where anybody with a hearing impairment goes to still be involved in the meeting or may take less effort to be involved in the meeting. And they take two forms. There can be what's called an FM based system, which is literally what you think it is. Like in your vehicle, you get FM terrestrial radio. It operates on a different spectrum than the 88.7 to 107.9 that the FCC has set aside for FM. It's usually under that so there's not interference, and it operates on a lower power too, right? So when somebody's driving by, even though they can't technically pick it up, it's not going to be a wide reach. It's usually meant for a single room, a single building space that it can be used in. And then the other version is something that's based on Wi-Fi. They both work the same. One just broadcasts in FM, the other one broadcasts in Wi-Fi, and the way they pick them up is the transmit unit that broadcasts in FM or Wi-Fi has a corresponding what they call body pack. And the body packs are either FM to pick up the FM signal or Wi-Fi to pick up the Wi-Fi signal. So typically as part of our installation, we have some sort of audio processing, a device that takes the incoming audio signals, maybe from a piano, microphone, CD player, whatever audio is being generated for the space, and then routes that to typically amplifiers, to some sort of recording equipment for streaming or online or archival purposes, and then also out to these listening assistance systems. So a mixed audio signal will be sent so that somebody in the audience through this FM or Wi-Fi listening assistant system can tune into what's happening to assist them in hearing. So FM or Wi-Fi transmits, the body pack receiver picks it up, and then there are either headphones that can be worn over the ear, or and this is a little technical, but in hearing aids nowadays, there is something called a T-coil. And the T-coil is something that can actually pick up vibrations, and I'll explain that, and transmit that into sound to go into the ear canal and in the eardrum and everything that's there to pick up the sound. And the reason that's really helpful is with listening assistant systems, one of the popular ways of getting audio out to people is instead of using the body pack receiver, we can create what's called an induction loop. And what that is, it's actually basically speaker wire that can be placed in the floor. That creates an induction loop. The T-coil can then pick up on that induction loop and get the audio. So somebody with a hearing aid can sit down in an area that has this induction loop and just get the audio from whatever's happening in the room. With the body pack receiver, they actually make a neck loop that you can put around.
Yes, I've seen those.
Yep.
Yes.
And then that neck loop creates the induction loop that could otherwise be installed into the floor.
I see.
So to recap, FM Wi-Fi transmitter to the body pack, then into headphones or a neck loop.
Yep.
And then that sound that's being generated in the room, maybe through the speakers, now comes directly to their ears or hearing aids through the induction loop or through the headphones. And it's great. There's either one of those systems works fantastic. It's something that we've installed it both for audience reasons, but we also have like county boardrooms, for example, where a commissioner might be hard of hearing, and the easiest way to integrate them is to set up a listening assistant system, but then also everybody else who might need to use it gets access to it. Most commonly it's installed in churches, and it's virtually infinitely expandable. So if they had 50 people that wanted to utilize the system, they just need 50 body packs. That one transmitter just sends the signal out and the receivers just pick it up if it's there. The one nice thing about the Wi-Fi version is, while everything else that it does is exactly the same as the FM, you can download an app on your phone, and then if you had Bluetooth, like AirPods or any sort of other wireless headphone, as long as the signal can get from your phone via the app, you can send it to that device. So if you had AirPods, you might have hearing aids that have Bluetooth built in, or you might just have a preferred pair of headphones that are Bluetooth, and then you can listen to it that way. So there is an advantage in that regard, but the FM does cost more, both in the transmit side of things. The body pack receivers cost more, and then you also have to have a network set up that you may not already have to broadcast the Wi-Fi. And then there's a little bit more of a learning curve, especially when somebody wants to use the app. They have to be technical enough to know how to download the app, make sure on the Wi-Fi, that type of thing. So for that reason, in almost all instances, we just install FM because it's very seamless. But if there's an institution or an organization where the same people are using the space repeatedly, like maybe employees or staff or something like that, Wi-Fi can work a little bit better because they only have to set it up once, and it's not like there's a new person coming in and they have to learn it over and over. So that was a lot, but that's what a listening assistance system is, and we probably deploy at least a dozen of them a year, I would say, on average.
Do any of them create like a closed caption system where they would, like in the case of a church, they'd probably also have a screen and a projection system where they're able to project that, as closed captioning on the screen, or is that something separate?
That would be something separate, and that's actually it's a growing thing. But it's very difficult to do. There are, as AI increases and its ability to understand human language, that's changing. We have actually, from kind of a separate topic, we have had the request of providing a captioned service for recordings. And our normal recommendation is that if they want something like that, the easiest way to do it now, both from a technical standpoint and a cost standpoint, is to utilize YouTube's service, which does it automatically.
Yes, they do,
However, if they don't want to do that, there are companies that make hardware that's paired with a service, and they can essentially pay a human being to watch the video and type it out, but you have to buy blocks of time. And it can be $30 to $50 an hour of time to have somebody caption it. But as AI improves and that side of things, gets better, there will be more automated services for that. The costs will come down. It'll be more ready. But that's usually our recommendation, is just to leverage YouTube's offering, and they handle it.
That seems like a good compromise system for being able to kind of handle both of those, like, accessibility issues for all intents and purposes. I mean, that's what it is.
It's exactly what it is.
For having, someone who has the hearing loss, and then to help those who perhaps have complete loss and couldn't even
completely deaf or close to it.
Have that. So those seem like really good solutions. You said it's primarily churches, city and county buildings. Are there any other applications that you guys have seen?
It's largely just any public space. So it's if there's a meeting hall, town hall,
conference centers, perhaps.
All of those types of spaces can utilize something like this. And if you have, it can be something like during COVID, when church services were happening outside, there was an application for that, because people could be in the parking lot and then have the receivers. They wouldn't be able to tune into it with their vehicles because it's a separate spectrum of FM that they're not set up for. But they could get the body pack receivers, or if they had a Wi-Fi system, they could use the app and then Bluetooth to their vehicle for audio. That was very, very popular. We had a lot of requests during that time for stuff like that, kind of temporary setup, so they could still accommodate their congregation. And so, it's really any public space where you're doing any sort of public address. It has an application.
Application for that. So, if there are organizations, church groups, businesses that would want to get a hold of you to talk about a system like that, what's the best way to go?
Well, we'll have some information in our links down below in the description. You can find our phone number, our email there. Go to our website and just let us know what you're thinking.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for listening to this episode, and we will catch you on our next one.